that the harmonized version of the tax law that was passed is not the same as what the federal government gazetted, right? So he insisted that it must be investigated because he felt it was, an abuse of his rights, especially as a lawmaker. Nigerians have been applauding him, and overnight he has become a very popular figure in the country. So today, Taiwo Oyedele, he is an economist, but most importantly, he is the chairman of President Tinubu's Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms, Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. So he put up a post, but before that, there was actually an interview that he had. You're going to be having a sneak peek at it and lots of chatter on this particular matter. But first, I was going to say, let's take a short break, but it looks like things have resolved themselves. And so I'm just going to take you to X now, so you take a look at the post that's going to introduce us to a video. Let's do it. So Imran Mohammed says, I think it's a process and system issue that has to be addressed, and I don't think it is about finger pointing or looking for who to blame. If you think about the process today, there are a lot of stages with manual hands-on that anything can go wrong. Taiwo Oyedele, discussing what might have gone wrong with the harmonization and gazetting of new tax laws, added that just because the president, the speaker, the Senate president, and he were present when the law was signed, it doesn't mean you can read 400 pages just because you were there and confirmed everything was fine. And people will wait for the outcome of the investigations. People should actually wait for the outcome of the investigations. So it's a mouthful, lots of things jam-packed into a couple of sentences. But netizens are jumping on that particular one. So you were there and you can't sit down and read the 400 pages. But that's what the lawmaker did, Honorable Dasuki. That's how he discovered this red herring. Yeah. So netizens are reacting. But before that, why don't you take a listen to Taiwo Oyedele himself, shall we?
Versus executive conversation. What it is. Thank you, Bukola. I'll be very honest with you. I do not think that this is a legislative versus executive conversation. I do not think that's what it is. I think it's a process and a system issue that has to be addressed. And I don't think it's about finger pointing and looking for who to blame. Like what I said is, if you think with manual hands-offs, that anything can go wrong. So when you sit to discuss changes to the law as lawmakers, there's someone who is making notes who needs to go and update. You need to ensure that they're updating what they have been asked to. You finish that with House of Rep, you do almost the same thing for Senate, and then you harmonize, and then you also need people to update. And then you certify it, you send it, usually through the Ministry of Justice to go to Mr. President for assent. And once it's been signed, you will notice that the version that the President signs is a different format. You have to then put it in their gazetting formats, which is also done, manually. And then that's sending from the President after assent for gazetting goes to Ministry of Information. Now, these different stages do not have the level of quality assurance that can make sure that these things never happen, not only for the tax bills, but for going forward. So which is why my preference is maybe we shouldn't waste this crisis, if you call it a crisis, and use it as an opportunity not only to identify if anything had gone wrong in this case that is substantial, address them, but more importantly, to strengthen that process going forward, so that when we have laws, we know that these laws have not been tampered with.
Taiwo Oyedele, Chairman, Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform. Guys, did you hear what I just heard myself? By the way, credit goes to Channels TV for that video you just watched. Taiwo also, which is going to be the next hashtag, also put up a post referring to this particular interview. It's going to be done separately because netizens are really jumping on this because they want clarity on it. Now, his process thing, and that because of the manual nature in which it is carried out, it's possible that it was an error Gosh. And Nigerians are saying, and our lives depend on this. But so let me not put words in your mouth, though, because I'm going to have you really, if you can, make comments in the comment section on YouTube. I'd really love to hear from you. But netizens are reacting. Why don't we take a look at what they are saying, shall we? Hashtag tax laws. Let's do it. So, Dikbo says, can someone remind me of his job if he can't read 400 pages of documents that will determine whether the lives of over 200 million people are in danger or not? In a sane society, this guy should have been sacked and arrested. That sleight of hand is intentional and dubious. Fisaya says, yes, but please be quick with the implementation of the new tax law. That's what Nigerians are waiting for. I'm not referring to tax evaders. Mustafa Halilu says he is just looking for a way to put up defense to the authors of the gazetted copy, I think, of the tax law is what Mustafa is trying to say. And he goes on to say, if that honorable member didn't raise alarm, and that would be Honorable Dasuki from Sokoto State, it could have been a cocktail party for parties involved. More reactions, let's continue to take a look at them. So, Kie says, manual flaws excuse for inserting unapproved arrest powers into the Tax Act. Classic Niger sleight of hand. Forged law hits January 1 while we wait for probe. Transparency or tyranny is the question Key is asking. Oluwafemi says, it's good that you ask people to wait. Can the implementation also wait? Don't ask what you also can't give. If there are alterations in the new tax system as to what was passed, or if there are altercations, is what I said, in the new tax system as to what was passed, suspend the law and look into it. That is how to know accountability and transparency. Goody says, at Taiwo, Oyedele is half right on this. It happened to one or two of Buhari's budget bills that their own executive branch went rogue with at-NAS Nigeria members to pad budgets. Buhari and Oshibajo had to almost manually check line by line. Abdul says, so a 400-page tax law was signed on trust, interesting governance model. Ikechukwu, when we broke this news last week, did you have any idea that it was going to explode to what it has exploded into right now?
Yeah, I was talking about, how sensitive it is.
Yeah.
That someone has to actually fall in line, because it's actually an impeachable offense.
I remember you saying that.
It's actually an impeachable offense. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around 400 pages of book that you cannot read, within 3 days.
And that's what the lawmaker did.
Absolutely. I mean, 400 pages is nothing, really.
No, but hey, let's be frank. It's a lot.
But
if it's your job.
It's your job. That's what I'm saying. 400 pages is your job. It's nothing, really, sincerely. But now he's talking about, the level of quality assurance across different cadres. I'm beginning to wonder, okay, the question is not about, changes of sentences or words. These are, an entirely different model. That's exactly what the honorable member actually raised. Entirely different model. So I'm waiting for how it's actually going to actually spin this one around to tell us it's actually what, it's just a manual mistake. For me, I think the only reasonable mistake I can see, or error that I can say attribute this is to, which is also not an error, is the one that one of the netizens actually responded to by using the word pardon. Because we've always seen it over time, right? There are persons who are actually interested in every single law that, the executive is pushing. But
I think budget pardon is totally different from tax alterations.
Yes.
And budget pardon became something that was very popular under the Buhari Oshibajo administration, where you would see, the National Assembly inflating or really increasing, numbers that were given by the executive. Yeah, so that's budget pardon.
Yes, so what I'm saying is that the closest to what can actually make sense in this case is that someone actually who's interested in a tax reform bill, who sees it as an opportunity for him to actually make some money, is the one who is actually doing this. Or someone who's actually want to embarrass the government is the one who actually change it and then tip the honorable minister off. A lot of things can actually happen. It's political year. I'm just saying, these are the only kind of things that they will say. I'll say, okay, it's actually very possible to actually think. But this excuse Mr. Taiwo is giving doesn't cut it for me at all.
Yeah, and that's what netizens are saying.
If you tell me someone actually switched some part of the government document to actually embarrass the government, I'll say, okay, I think I can actually listen to this.
One of the netizens had asked that the implementation of this particular law that's in contention at the moment be stalled, be suspended, which is what the ADC is saying, the mega opposition party, that, look, suspend implementation until investigations are carried out and Nigerians are able to know exactly what's going on. Peter Obi also jumped on this particular one and said, it is totally criminal, you know, what's happening. We had a guest here, Chijoke Oji, who is a public affairs analyst on News Hour over the weekend, and he said, okay, Peter Obi and the rest, if you have evidence of these discrepancies, go to court.
It's not even just about going to court. I think, first of all, they have the political clout, they have the followership. All they need to do is just to demonstrate on the street, you know, protest about it.
But I think they've also contributed to ensuring that this matter does not die a slow death.
Absolutely. But then I think it will be more, make a lot of sense if they step out, right? You know, even if it's just a couple of hours, let the eyes of the world be on them. Let the world come to understand that, okay, there's something that is wrong. Because trust me, I don't think if I'm anyone who, if I'm actually close to the government, the president, or maybe one of his cabinet member, I think no one will have to tell me before telling the president, I think this thing should be suspended. I think it's just the reasonable thing to do. Okay. Because you want to prove to Nigerians that you are actually not in the wrong. You want to prove to Nigerians that you have nothing to do with it. So the very first thing you need to do is to actually just put a stop to this. Let us find out exactly what went wrong, and you know, then you have to look at the bill again and say, okay, this is exactly what I intend to sign, and then sign that into law, and then just, okay, it's exactly what the law says. Not that you sign something that, you know, the people did not agree on, because these guys are actually the ones representing us.
Well, we have another hashtag, which is hashtag Taiwo Oyedele. Same Taiwo that you listened to earlier on. But this time around, he put up a post today on X because he discovered that this matter is not going anywhere, and netizens were reacting to the interview the previous day. So he put up this post. Let me take you to X now. It is hashtag Taiwo Oyedele. So Taiwo Oyedele says, tax reform and process integrity. I joined Channels TV to discuss recent issues about the gazetted copies of the new tax laws. To be clear, this is not a legislative versus executive blame game, nor is it politics. It is a process and governance issue. Tax policy affects citizens directly, being at the center of the social contract. So it must be anchored in trust and facts, not fear or misinformation, which only creates uncertainty and further undermines confidence. The viral document claiming specific alterations to the tax laws and presented as the report of the committee set up to investigate the issue surfaced when the committee had not even met. Rather than spreading misinformation, we should seize this moment to strengthen our process, deepen accountability, and build a tax system that moves Nigeria forward. Let's take a look at the next post. Actually, this is supposed to be another hashtag. It's not, I don't know exactly what's going on, but there's a concluding part of the Oyedele post, and that's it. Rejecting or stalling reform is not a neutral choice. It means preserving a broken system that overtaxes workers, hurts small businesses, sustains multiple and nuisance taxes, and distorts economic growth. So first, let me apologize to the viewer for the mix-up earlier due to technicalities. Apparently, these errors do not happen only in the executive arm of Nigeria's government. Well, let's take a look at netizens reacting to this particular hashtag now. Hashtag tax laws, shall we? Hashtag Taiwo Oyedele. So I Occupy Nigeria says, Oga Oyedele, make we talk straight. Dem fit call you tax guru. If it be true, if it no be true, I no send. But politics and legislative process, you know Sabiam. This one no be committee, never meet matter. This na basic reading comprehension. We get two public documents. One, the harmonized bill where National Assembly pass. Two, the gazetted copy where government publish. Both na public document. Anybody wey pass WAEC English, we put them side by side and say them no be the same thing. You no need committee. You no need investigation. You just need eyes and sense. So when they say one viral document surface before committee meets, na distraction. The real question be say, why the gazetted law no match the harmonized bill wey legislators vote for? And then there's the concluding part of I Occupy Nigeria's post. And it says, House of Reps know wetin dem pass. Nigerians fit see wetin una gazette. In fact, the gazetted copy dey your own official website. Plenty people don't download them. Some of us get them for hand. So who change wetin? When them change them? And under which authority? That na governance question, no be misinformation, no be fear, no be vibes. Stop insulting people's intelligence with process gymnastics. If document A no equal document B, something happen in between. Simple. No amount of TV interview go wish that fact away. There are more reactions. Let's continue to take a look at them, shall we? So Fisayo says, Sir, thank you for the good work. Nigeria may not appreciate you now, but in the future, when people look back at this moment, they will thank you. President Tinubu faced similar resistance when he introduced tax reforms in Lagos State. Yet today, Lagos is the best performing state in Nigeria. Please go ahead and implement the new tax law. I have read parts of it, and you and your team have done a great job. Well done, and God bless you. All right, so Mr. Oyedele has a fan in Fisayo, but there are more reactions. Let's continue to take a look at them now. Hashtag Taiwo Oyedele as we peruse the tax laws. Shall we? The next one. All right, unfortunately, the next one is not coming up. But hey, let's talk about it. Looks like some are in favor, others are not.
Yeah, you always get that in government. Some persons will always, no matter how the law is, a lot of persons will still back the government. It's normal. But I mean, I find it very insulting that Mr. Oyedele will actually try to spin this in the way he did by trying to tell Nigerians that a document was going viral. I'm trying to wonder if we all didn't see a video where the honorable member was actually holding two different documents. Is he speaking to the honorable member saying that he's holding one that is going viral, or is he speaking to Nigerians? I don't understand. See, this is where I don't like about the way politicians behave. The truth is, an error has been made. Mm-hmm. You're actually not the one who made the error, except you are the one. That's exactly why you are trying to actually defend the indefensible. The truth is, there are two separate documents right now on record. How did it happen? These are the questions, right? Somebody must have to actually fall for this. Somebody head must have to roll for me to understand that this government is actually very serious with integrity or transparency. Because you cannot actually, this is something that will definitely affect the life of an average Nigerian. I mean, we're doing the mathematics around this particular tax law. And for you to even escape, being taxed as a Nigerian at this point, you have to earn below the minimum wage. Minimum wage is 70,000 naira. So if you do the math, right, at the end of the year, it's going to be 840 naira. But if you earn below, that's exactly when you escape being taxed. So it says a lot about, what this tax means to an average Nigerian. And now you are telling us that we don't even know what we are doing. It doesn't even make any sense. I think at this point, you should just conduct an investigation and tell us, oh, this is exactly what happened. This is where it happened. In fact, the first story he actually, the statement he made on channels, even made more sense than this one he actually, put up on X. Sincerely, it's sad that he's actually saying this. But then, I mean, it's Nigeria. It's a society where sometimes you say things, because you are close to power and nothing's going to happen.
Well, we are sticking with issues regarding tax today, right? Because that's what's trending on X. Because X is where we base mostly, we just focus on X so that we'll see what's happening on social media. Now, tax ID is what's next. So the FIRS put up a video today and the cable jumped on it. Why? Because Nigerians are jittery and they are wondering if as from January, they will not be able to pay monies or withdraw monies from their bank accounts. Why? Because there was chatter over the weekend, and this is not the first time, that if you don't have your tax ID, then you will not be able to use your bank account or, participate in bank transactions and all of that. But the FIRS has come out to say that it is not true. It's a rumor. They put up a video. But first, let's take a look at the post that the cable put up regarding this one, shall we? Thank you. So the cable says, about your tax ID, the tax ID unifies all things previously issued by FIRS and state IRS into a single identifier. For individuals, your NIN automatically serves as your tax ID. For registered companies, your CACRC number is used. You don't need a physical card. The tax ID is a unique number linked directly to your identity. Take a listen to the video that the FIS put up.
Information about the tax ID, and I'm here to let all of us know that the Nigeria Tax Administration Act (NTAA) mandates the use of tax IDs for certain transactions. This requirement is not new. It has existed since the Finance Act 2019 and has been strengthened under the NTAA. The tax ID unifies all things previously issued by FRS and state IRS into a single identifier. For individuals, your NIN automatically serves as your tax ID, while for companies, that is for registered companies, your CACRC number is used. You do not need a physical card. Please, enough of the rumors. You do not at all need a physical card. The tax ID is a unique number linked directly to your identity. The new tax ID system simplifies identification, reduces duplication, closes loopholes for tax evasion, and ensures fairness so that everyone who earns taxable income contributes their share while protecting non-taxable low-income citizens.
That was the FIRS talking about the rumors circulating about a tax ID, that, hey, don't be jittery, all is well, right? Netizens are reacting to that. Let's take you back to X now so you see how netizens are reacting to it. Shall we? Let's do it. Yeah, so AIFS says the tax ID is a unique number linked directly to your identity, NIN. Enough of the rumor. And then he said, watch this video. Of course, we've watched it. Let's take a look at the next post, shall we? So Companies NG says, Nigeria don't turn NIN to tax ID now. So my national identity number now national I need income number. FIRS, I beg, no use track my pure water and gala sales. So there are more reactions. Let's take a look at it. So DJ says, as they want standardized tax in Nigeria, they should standardize social amenities as well. I know feed they pay for where and no chop. Success says, before Nigeria pay taxes, can we see President Tinubu's taxes from 1999 till date? And Carbon says, does that mean everyone must have TIN number? But hey, Ikechukwu, this last question, can you answer?
That's TIN number?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
it's NIN. Once you have the national identity number, you don't need another tax ID.
Yes,
basically.
I think a couple of months ago, a friend of mine wanted to start, not my friend anyways, but yeah, close to the person, wants to start a business, a rival business. The person went to the bank to actually, get all of the paperwork and all of that because it's a CA thing. And that's exactly what the first time I heard the word TIN. And the person said that, they told them there, because they were in group, that this particular thing was going to serve as your normal tax ID, that you don't even need to set up a tax like that. Naturally, everyone has been, a tax ID has been created for every one of us, even when you don't know, because of the new tax reform bill. So that was the very first time I heard of it.
And where was it gotten from? From your national identification number? Yes,
exactly. So the person was explaining that to me. I'm like, oh, quite interesting. That's exactly, so you don't even have to go to the bank to queue, or the NIN number will be used to generate an automatic tax number for you.
Yeah.
And that's exactly. So when I saw the thing, I'm like, oh, okay. So this is actually a thing.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
So it's okay. Are you rest assured that everything is okay now?
No, I'm not rest assured, because there's still a lot of discrepancy as regards the tax reform bill. So that's where my problem is.
Yeah.
But as regards how the tax is going to actually happen, or there will be no, as regards whether there will be hiccups as regards getting your tax ID and all that, I know I can say, okay, I'm settled as regards that, but what exactly are we paying for? What exactly was the agreement between the National Assembly, which is us, our representatives, and the executive? I want to exactly know which of the bill, is the government actually implementing. That's exactly where my own concern is.
And that is exactly what netizens are saying at the moment. On and offline, Nigerians are saying, look, fingers crossed, we want to see how this pans out. Yeah, but hey, why don't we just take a trip away from all these tax matters, right? Do something else. Let's talk about Abia State Governor, Governor Oti. He's trending at the moment, yeah? Because people are insisting that his visit to President Tinubu not too long ago, just shortly after he visited Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto, he visited President Tinubu. Now, people are refusing to stop saying that it was his nothing a presidential or vice presidential ambition. But he's come out to say, in fact, he was at an interview and he decided to use the opportunity, or seize the moment is what you say, to clear the air. So I take you to X now. So you see the post that's going to lead us to the video where Governor Oti is assuring Abians, that's what they call them, yeah, as well as Nigerians, that he is not pursuing any political ambition, that why he went to see President Tinubu was strictly about Nnamdi Kanu and all. So let me take you to X now. It is #GovOti. Sports Dokito. Really? Sports Dokito. Dogo says, I don't have presidential or vice presidential ambitions. I don't also have senatorial ambitions. Once I'm done as governor or as a governor, I will retire. I came for a mission and once I'm done, I'm gone. And then he says, my state governor, Alex Oti, and indeed he's on a mission. Take a listen, guys.
Message from one of you. There's a video by someone, I remember his name, where he was talking about my visit to Sokoto to see Nnamdi Kanu and berating me and saying all sorts of things. In the first place, that is the beauty of democracy. So people should hold their opinion. And we respect people's opinion. And that you hold a different opinion doesn't mean you are right. One of the things he talked about was about my ambition after being governor. And I had said it before, I think sometime in October, when we were receiving the representative of the president. And I want to say it again, that by the time I'm done with governorship, I will retire. But I don't have presidential ambition nor vice presidential ambition. I don't. I also don't have senatorial ambition. So when I finish with governorship, I came for a mission. When
Governor Oti there, clearing the air. Do you think, are you convinced and not confused that once he's done being a governor, he's going to go?
You know my stance on politicians. I don't believe anything they say.
In fact, what you just said is what a couple of netizens said.
I don't believe politicians. Not even any single one. If an angel comes down today and joins politics, I will not believe him. That's me.
I wonder why.
Sincerely, because the beauty of politics, or what will I say? Yeah, I think that's the beauty. The beauty of politics, or politics, are wrapped around two things: power and hypocrisy.
That's what you think.
Yeah,
but
power.
That's not the definition of politics.
No, it's not the definition of politics. Because it is power, power, hypocrisy, and betrayal. That's what politicians do. Sincerely, no. Well, you look at me like that, but it's the truth. That's what they do. That's what defines them, and that's what keeps them in power. Whether you like it or not.
But you see, lots of Abians, that's what they call themselves, are applauding Governor Oti right now. So apparently, this politician to them is totally different.
Until otherwise happens.
Yeah, but there is no until yet. So can we not jump the gun?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but why?
Okay, like you always say, like you always tell me, can we agree to disagree?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, fine. So I don't trust him on this one.
Well,
but yeah, it is good that he's saying this, because for people who don't know Alex Oti before now, Alex Oti has been, I think the very first time he contested in election as a governor in Abia State was in 2015. In fact, a lot of persons said he won that election, but because he contested as an APC candidate, it was easy for the PDP and Ikpeazu to actually push him out. That was what happened. Now he came back, under the Labour Party at a time where, the Abians actually tired of PDP. In fact, the Southeast, and then, he jumped on. He was part of the people who benefited from the P2B's wave, right? And that's exactly what And ever since he got into power, he has been the most, or arguably the most performing governor in the Southeast.
Yeah, no wonder people are saying what they're saying on X. So can I go back to X now so we see how netizens are saying? So a couple of them said they wouldn't trust politicians because, like one of them said, this is not the first time I'm hearing this. But hey, let's take a look at what netizens are saying regarding #GovOT. So Olawale said, somebody once said something similar to this. Today, he is saying a new Nigeria is possible as his presidential mantra. When the opportunity arises and he doesn't take it, then he should tell us this, not now. Olafia says, we shall see, or we shall all be here to see. We shall all be here to see. Politicians, they retire for Nigeria. He's asking a question. Dr. Chika says, proud Abian. Dignified said, the best performing governor at the moment. More reactions. Let's continue to take a look at them. Mind you, this happened yesterday, so netizens are reacting to this from yesterday till date. There is more reactions, #GovOT. So Tony says, look, if this is a joke, please inform Alex Oti to stop it. I wonder what makes him think that we will allow him to retire after serving the good people of Abia State. We will have that conversation at the proper time. One thing, though, is certain. He's not going on retirement without a fight from well-meaning Nigerians. I'm sure he can see the mess we are in as a country, and he's talking about retirement? No way. Benga says, if you believe that, then you'd believe anything. Wait till his second tenure, then you'll start seeing sponsored demonstrators demanding his representation and then he lets it slide. HB24, that'll be HB raised to power 24, says this man changed Abia State for good, and he's still working. He's a perfect example of a visionary leader. Kudos to him. So you see, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4 netizens that are actually jumping on the bandwagon to sing his praise.
True. I mean, the last time, someone actually traveled, came back, he said, that man has done the undoable in Abia State. I mean, if you've been in Abia State before, now, say between 2012 and, I don't want to go far back to 99 Orji's Okalu, but between 2012 and, 2023, you understand why, Abians are actually really celebrating. Abia State, as a whole at the time, looked like a dump site. You can't, particularly in Aba, it's not a place you want to be. But what, Alex Oti has done, trust me, it's huge.
Wow.
And that's exactly why a lot of persons are. And it says something about Nigerians. Nigerians are very easy to please. Just do the bare minimum, and you see people, talking about you.
I mean, I heard someone say not too long ago that if you want to please Nigerians, just give them steady power supply, let it be water, let it be food, let it be fuel, and Nigerians are happy. Not really too hard to please, like Ikechukwu said. But let's move on to the next hashtag. It's also about a governor, but this time around, not in the southeast, but in the southwest. It is #GovAdeleke. So the governors are trending today. So Governor Adeleke put up a post to say that he's heard what so many people are saying about him. That, look, performance is not about too much grammar or about dancing or about not dancing. It's about what you can deliver and about the evidence of delivery you can present. This is me paraphrasing. I'm not going to talk too much. Let me take you to X now. So you see the post the governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, put up to let his constituency know that he's a performing governor. Let's do it. #GovAdeleke. So Governor Ademola Adeleke says, today at the Iwude Ijesha Carnival, I made it Elisha. Thank you so much. I made it clear that leadership is about impact, not appearances. Governance is about positively touching lives, and I invite some sponsored critics to judge me by my records, outputs, and agenda over the last 3 years. By every globally accepted standard, my administration has delivered good governance across all sectors and across all federal constituencies of our dear state. In Ijesha land, we confronted long-standing challenges head-on. We secured Osun's shareholding in the Shegilola Gold Project, launched far-reaching mining sector reforms, intensified the fight against illegal mining, and commenced continuous environmental and river cleanup to restore polluted lands and water resources. We also cleaned up the Ilesha Water Project, blocked corruption, and repositioned it to deliver potable water to the people through renewed processes with the Islamic Development Bank. Key infrastructure projects have been executed, including the completed dualization from Iraja Palace Junction to Brewery Junction with solar street lights. There is more. Let's go and take a look at the concluding part of this post now. And then it says, importantly, the University of Ilesha is now a reality with nearly 100 accredited courses, strong local presence in key leadership positions, and ongoing infrastructure expansion. The university stands as a lasting legacy for education and human capital development in Ijesha land. Ijesha's sons and daughters are well represented in our government, serving in strategic positions and contributing meaningfully to our people. Centered governance, to our people-centered governance is what he's saying. And then he goes on and on and on and on to tout his own horn and blow his own trumpet. But for the first time, I am seeing practically everybody on X agree with him. Normally, when you see stuff like this and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the first 2 or 4, you will find, dissenting voices. But take a look at how this one is panning out now, so you don't think I'm just, making it up. Let's go back to X now, so you see how netizens are reacting to hashtag #Adeleke. Ben Samuel says, one thing I truly admire about Adeleke is his genuine passion for the role and the way he's positively transforming lives. I sincerely hope he secures a second term, regardless of the political party he aligns with. After all, good governance is not about party affiliation. It's about the individual in charge. I'll use my platform to actively campaign for your re-election, all the way from the UK. Interesting. Oyedele says, no post about Iwo till now, Oya now. Then Oscar Ajayi says, thanks, Mr. Governor. Your work is speaking for you. Please remember us in where now? In Mesile, connecting roads from Ijebu-Jesha. And then he talks about another terrible road. And he says, please roll your development wheel there. But he's also saying, thanks, Mr. Governor, your work is speaking for you. There are more reactions. Let's continue to take a look at them. Hashtag #Adeleke. So Eniola Suleiman says, Mr. Governor, sir, kudos to you. Our people in Ife South have been criticizing you for your governance. Please, we need our light back. Let your imole, that'll be light, reach here too, sir. And then London says, leadership truly is about impact, and the records speak clearly. The strides made in Ijesha, especially in education, infrastructure, water, and economic development, are evident and commendable. This is governance with vision and results. Update says, this is commendable and appreciated. But Mr. Governor, there should be proper monitoring of festivals in Osun State that can also serve as tourism, like Osun, Osogbo, or Iwude Ijesha. Let's look for a way to improve the way the festival is being celebrated. And if you follow this thread, this is a microcosm of how it's playing out on X. Would you say based on this, His Excellency Adeleke might just snag a second term, regardless of the platform he's on? Most likely. It's difficult to actually unseat a sitting governor. It's difficult. It's very difficult. The only way it's going to happen is if there is an internal crisis within the political party that would, tear up the party within the state. But if that's not happening, I think it's going to be almost impossible. And plus, the fact that he's also from the family, one of the strongest family in Osun State that actually, can actually really influence real power in the states. Plus, the recent, battle with the executive, with the federal government that actually have, their allocation, state allocation seats that also have given him some certain level of sympathy. And now he and his siblings have been the one, paying the state workers and all of that. So all of these things definitely will be counting as political points for him. I don't think he's going to actually lose the second term. I don't think that will happen. I think he's definitely going to keep it. And from the way I see it, it's going to be, a game of, whoever is that, between the
the opposition that's going to really rival the APC in general election. I'm talking about the presidential now. It's going to be a game of balls. The opposition will approach, okay, if you play for us, we definitely, you definitely get something reward. The APC might also come, okay, if you play for us, definitely, we'll definitely make it easy for you to actually, win. So it's going to be a lot of permutation. But for him, I think it stands the very best chance of returning back to power in that particular state.
Yeah, but you talked about him playing ball with the APC. Maybe
yeah, it's possible.
I don't even see that happening, regardless, because of the stiffness between both parties at the moment. But hey, I don't want to dwell on that.
Politicians.
Yeah, you say that always. I think it was former President Olusegun Obasanjo who had said once upon a time that in politics there are no permanent friends and no permanent foes. You know what?
Interest.
Well, yeah, it's so. There you go. Why don't we take it away from politics, right? This is our last hashtag for today, and it is hashtag Iniedu. You don't know the veteran actress, Nollywood. She released a movie called Dirty Christmas not too long ago. And shortly after that, the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, fired a salvo at her saying, no, you must change the name of this movie because it detracts from the reason for the season. Christmas is not dirty, for crying out loud. So Iniedu put up a video saying if she had known that this was going to spark outrage and stir controversy, she wouldn't have done it. That they had been monitoring the process before the movie was released and nobody said anything. That's her pointing a finger at the regulators. She said nobody said anything until when it was released. And she was crying really in that video. I'll let you say it in a short while, but Linda Ikeji put up a post that's going to lead us to the video I'm about to show you. It is hashtag Iniedu. Let's go to X now, shall we? Unfortunately, with the technical department, I apologize. To take a look at Rita Dominick's reaction for starters. That's not it, right? So let's, Rita Dominick, by the way, is Iniedu's colleague. But hey, take a listen to Iniedu herself.
So I feel like I'm here for a purpose. And I always try to stick around because I really love this business and what our stories do to people. When we chose A Very Dirty Christmas as a film title, we promoted our film for the entire, that's all I've done this year. From when we were shooting, if I had any reservation from anywhere, we would not have used the title. We used the title because it was a metaphorical way of expressing what happens in a family reunion that was supposed to be clean and nice, but family secrets unveiling, ills of the society, just talking about just things that happen when wealthy people come together. We chose A Dirty Christmas. It was never to demean Christians or disrespect Christendom or dishonor God. I would never have been a part of anything that I would have felt like it would be a dishonor to God. Because the only reason why I'm here is because of God. I have been attacked. I have seen so many things that I don't talk. Not because I don't have things to say, Not because I don't have things to say, but because
Right. So, I mean, what do you say to that? She's very teary and all. But I don't think Khan has a monopoly on wanting the name of a movie retracted or stuff like that when it comes to nomenclature. In fact, the BBC put up a post today of Ghana saying they don't want the term Dirty December anymore because it is derogatory and it might promote, negative behavior and all of that. But see, that's where that is at the moment. So it looks like Khan is going to insist until the name of that movie is changed. Few seconds as we wrap this up.
Well, I mean, sadly, we're in a society where religion and culture. I mean, when you do stuff around these two elements, you have to be very careful. I understand her, her heart was actually very pure when she was actually making this particular story, but then the repercussion is what
things
it is.
happen. I mean, once upon a time, Miss World Beauty pageant had to be moved from Nigeria because of religious connotations and all. But we'll see how this one continues to pan out, and we'll keep it posted. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I say thanks to everyone who contributed to making the show a success. Bigger thanks goes to you guys for watching. If you liked it, keep a date with Ikechukwu and I for another edition of Hashtags right here, same time, same station. Until then, I am Vivian Oguche, and bye for now.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Bamakore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi, everyone. It's your girl, Miriam Tima from The Real Housewives of Lagos.